Hey everybody, Marty Schindler here. Today in Sony Vegas, I'm going to teach you how to mask, again, I guess. Just kind of re-updating my past tutorial I did have on this, just to explain it a little better. So, without further ado, let's get started here. Well, I do have some clips here, and before I continue, I just want to say that masking's only available in the professional editions of Sony Vegas, so, if you don't have it, check your version. If you have Platinum or Movie Studio, your Sony Vegas does not have masking. Sorry to inform you of that, but that's what happens. Anyway, over here, have this Halo clip of the Halo video game, as you probably know. What we're going to do is just mask, or show you a technique called stacking here, okay? I'm going to right-click, insert another video track, so we have two. I'm actually just going to go ahead and get rid of our audio for this tutorial. I'm going to duplicate our clip 2 times. You'll see why in a minute. We have our clip duplicated twice now. And what we're going to do on the top clip is go to our pan and crop configuration controls here. Check the masking checkbox down here. Click on the first keyframe. Go to our anchor creation tool, or D on your keyboard, I believe. I can't verify that actually, but just click on the little pen icon up here. If you're familiar with Photoshop, you'll know what I'm talking about. Make sure snapping is off. Just we don't want any problems, so that little button over there you can turn off. And what we're gonna do actually is move or create a new keyframe. We're gonna cycle through the video with our arrow keys here, and let me find a good area here. Okay, we'll do this. And I do have another tutorial on how to fully do this, so be sure you check that out. It's called the Montage Red Fire tutorial. But right now we're just going to trace, basically, or cut out this fire right here, you know, the shot, basically. So what we're going to do is just click around the fire with our pen. Just click and make new points. You'll see these lines popping up, and those lines are called paths. When two anchor points, is what these points are called when you're creating them, are connected, you create a path. And then there are segments. You could also use those terms kind of interchangeably. There are some differences, but you don't really need to know that. Okay, so we have our little mask here. You'll notice no difference because we do have another clip below this. But if we mute our bottom track, you'll see what we created right there. Is we just created the fire that we masked out right there. Okay, and we're gonna create a second mask. We're gonna grab our normal edit tool up here, the mouse pointing icon, and drag so we can see better. And we're just going to zoom in a little bit right there with our scroll wheel would be zooming in, by the way. Grab our pen tool again, and we're going to trace out this portion inside. You can also click and then drag it around to bend your line if you prefer to do that. But it might alter the next line that you do, so you kind of have to be careful with that. So yeah, just know that you need to be a little careful if you're bending your lines. Otherwise, you're good. So there we go, we got our fire masked out. Let's delete our first keyframe right there. And now we're back to here. Oh god, what did I do? Hold on. There we go, okay. Okay, so we have our fire masked out, obviously. Now it looks pretty crappy down there, as you can see. It's really jagged looking, so what we want to do is click on our click on any path or any segment or anything in there. Just click on anything. Then your controls are over here. If you don't see them, make sure you check this Show Properties panel icon up here with the black cursor and the little tablet behind it. Then what you want to do, I'll go over these, don't worry. Change your feather type to anything. It doesn't matter except for in. Right now we're going to do both actually, and we're going to type in 6.5 or so. You can vary that as you want, obviously. And you see it gives it a little better look there. You can also adjust your feather by clicking on the controls and dragging it around. We'll keep it right there, or right about here. So about 10. That's fine. And the difference between the feather types, let's go to in. You can see it feathers, or that's out. It feathers it more. It feathers it in only the outer direction. In only in the inner direction, obviously, and both self-explanatory. You always want to do feathering when you're masking, just about every single time. It blends the two images together, or whatever you're doing in that case. So definitely want to feather almost every time. Opacity, kind of obvious. It makes it either lighter or darker. You can see there's only a feather on the one I clicked on. If I click on this mask, we need to go to both and set it as 10.3 also. So you just got to click on the different masks. So you can have several masks, but you need to click on them before you make changes, because it'll only govern changes on one mask at a time. If we go to mode here, negative will obviously negate the mask. It'll make everything but the mask viewable. Or disabled will make nothing viewable. Positive is just normal. Anti-alias smooths out when you pan around or stuff is moving. It basically it makes it easier to look at, or it gets rid of the little choppy lines in it. So you usually want to leave that on unless nothing's moving. Then you can leave it off in that case. There's a tool over here called the split tangent tool. If you want to click on any of your paths with that tool, it'll make them circular rather than straight edge right there. Just like yeah, it bends them basically. So if you ever want to use that, that's fine. Now let's unmute our bottom track. You can see everything still looks the same, but let's go to video effects. Let's go to color balance. Just drag and reset to none, and we're gonna make it all the way red in this case. And yeah, let's just keep it there. And you can see now that that we can control the color of the fire on the end of that right there. If we can literally make it green or blue if we want, or that's a pretty cool color. So yeah, you can definitely mess around with the colors here, pink, you know, anything. And you can do any effect almost. There are a couple you want to stick away from, but there you go. Masking is a way of applying effects to only certain parts of videos. But you got to be careful here, because if I start playing the video, and let's say I add a blur effect to the top so it blurs out, actually that looks kind of horrible. On second thought, let's just add that color effect. Right here, okay. We'll just add this one. You can see it turns red, but if we play the clip, you can see that it just basically just stays right there, and it just stays there, that's all. And we don't want that. And that's where rotoscoping comes in. And now I have a tutorial on rotoscoping, so check that out. What it is it editing, masking, frame by frame, so everything sticks together pretty well. But that's the basis of masking. If you're trying to mask perfect circles or anything like that, use the cookie cutting tool. A lot easier. But if you just want to mask out something, this also works if you want to combine clips with other clips. Like if I stuck this on top of another clip and I just cut out this part, use my split tangent tool to make it circular, kind of like that. And then I add a feather of out, and I give it 5. You can see that now this halo clip is now blending in with this other clip. And if we want to move the mask around, just move the clip around itself like this. You could also adjust the size, obviously. So yeah, pretty cool. You could also keyframe the feather of the mask. If you want to change the feather to, let's say, 50 and just make it really big, and then what it'll do is over time it'll make the feather bigger. As you can see right here, as I scroll through all this, it makes the feather bigger. So when you're masking, again, just make sure you have your properties out so you can see all this. You really don't need to know about position that much unless you're getting really technical. Workspace also not very big of a deal. If you have a scroll wheel, that'll work. Make sure you click on your mask with your normal editing tool so you're not making new anchor points on it. That can really mess you up. There are some things that masking doesn't let you do, so you kind of just have to experiment. Like sometimes making weird designs like this don't work very well when you're making like an O shape and you only want the inside right here to show up. It's very rare that you can actually get one of these to work, but it does work sometimes. So I guess you just have to experiment when masking is all I'm saying. And that's about it, you know. Get your regular tool, make sure masking, or I mean snapping, excuse me there, is off. And that's the basis of masking, everybody. It's applying certain effects to certain parts in your clips, doing several other things, combining two clips together, and stuff like that. So that was just an update on my masking tutorial. Hope to see you guys soon. I'm Marty Schindler, and I'll see you guys later.